The sky bled red, a crimson gash across the dawn. Not beautiful like a sunrise, this was an open wound, weeping light that felt thick and wrong. Maria stood on her porch, coffee forgotten in her hand. The air, usually crisp with the mountain air, felt heavy, metallic. A low rumble, like distant thunder, rolled through the valley. Except there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Her son, Peter, joined her, eyes wide with a fear he was too young to understand. He clutched his stuffed bear, the fur worn thin from love. "Mummy, what's that sound?" His voice was small, lost in the vastness of the morning. Maria knelt down, forcing a smile she didn't feel. "Just the earth waking up, sweetheart." But even as she said it, she knew it was a lie. The earth wasn't waking up, it was screaming. The news came in frantic bursts, crackling over the radio like a dying fire. Meteors, thousands of them, impact zone unknown, then silence. The silence was worse than the news. It buzzed in Maria's ears, a constant reminder of the unknown. Panic spread like wildfire. Grocery stores became battlegrounds, shelves stripped bare in a frenzy of fear. Neighbors, once friendly, now eyed each other with suspicion. The thin veneer of civilization, so easily maintained in good times, cracked and shattered. Maria hugged Peter close, his small body trembling against hers. They were alone. Her husband, a pilot, was away on assignment. Unreachable. The thought was a knife twisting in her gut. The first impact came without warning, a blinding flash, then a shockwave that rippled across the land. Mountains crumbled, forests ignited. Cities, once monuments to human achievement, became tombs in an instant. Maria and Peter huddled in their basement, the roar of the world ending a constant din above them. Dust rained down, coating everything in a layer of gritty grey. The air, thick and hot, reeked of sulphur and something else, something alien. Days turned into weeks. The sun, a hazy orb through the dust-choked sky, offered little warmth. Food began to run low, water too. The world outside their shelter was a wasteland, a silent testament to humanity's hubris. Emerging from their shelter, Maria and Peter found a world reshaped. Gone were the familiar landmarks, replaced by a desolate landscape of grey ash and twisted metal. The air hung heavy, filled with the stench of death and decay. Survivors, hollow-eyed and gaunt, wandered the wasteland, searching for food and water. Some formed groups, banding together for protection. Others, driven mad by grief and despair, preyed on the weak. Maria, her maternal instincts sharpened by the harsh realities of their new world, fought to protect her son. They scavenged for scraps, their bodies growing lean and tough. Every sunrise was a victory, every sunset a gamble. The human spirit, however, is a stubborn thing. Even in the face of unimaginable loss, hope flickered. Small communities began to emerge from the ashes. People, drawn together by the need for companionship and the desire to rebuild, pooled their resources and shared their skills. Maria and Peter found refuge in one such community, a collection of tents and makeshift shelters huddled around a sputtering fire. Life was hard, a constant struggle against hunger and the elements. But there was a sense of purpose here, a belief that even in this shattered world, humanity could endure. Nights were the hardest. Under the cold, indifferent gaze of the stars, memories of the world before the impact returned with a vengeance. Maria would lie awake, listening to Peter's shallow breaths, and remember the warmth of her husband's embrace, the laughter of children playing in the park, the simple joys of a life that seemed as distant and unreal as a dream. But dawn always came, bringing with it the harsh realities of their new existence. The need to find food, the constant fear of danger, the struggle to hold on to hope in a world where it seemed hope had died. One day, while scavenging in the ruins of a nearby town, Peter stumbled upon a seed, a tiny, insignificant thing buried beneath the rubble. But to Peter, it represented something more, a symbol of life in a world consumed by death. He planted the seed in a small patch of earth they had cleared near their tent. Every day he watered it with the precious little water they had. And slowly, miraculously, a tiny green shoot emerged from the barren soil. The sight of that single fragile plant filled the community with a renewed sense of purpose. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, life finds a way. that even in the face of annihilation, hope can blossom. More seeds were found, and more. Soon, the community had a small garden, a splash of green in the grey wasteland. The food they grew wasn't much, but it was a start, a symbol of their determination to rebuild, to reclaim their place in this shattered world. Word spread to other communities. People drawn by the promise of something more than mere survival began to converge on their settlement. They brought with them their skills, their stories, their hopes for the future. Years passed. The sky remained a somber grey, a constant reminder of the catastrophe that had befallen their world. But beneath it, life went on. Children born into this new world knew nothing of the one that came before. They played amongst the ruins, their laughter echoing through the silent streets. The human race, once on the brink of extinction, had endured. Scarred, yes, forever changed, but not broken. For within the human spirit there burns an unquenchable flame, a flame that even the darkest night cannot extinguish, a flame that whispers of resilience, of rebirth, of the enduring power of hope. And in the ashes of the old world, a new one began to rise.